Did we buy another property here in Nova Scotia? We're gonna find that out. So we went and saw a property in Mahone Bay. Mahone Bay is a beautiful town, we love it.
Gorgeous town.
And it was to possibly flip. At some point in this video, we're going to show you what that property looked like. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's a word.
It's quite an interesting property. And we might just be crazy people. So you're gonna find out. Are we buying a property in Mahone Bay to flip or do stuff with?
But first, we are going to talk about our truck. When we decided to move to Nova Scotia, we looked at different options for moving, and we decided that we might save some money if we bought our own truck and trailer and use that to move our stuff.
Instead of hiring a moving company.
That's right. In the hopes that we could resell the truck and the trailer for maybe even a profit. So not only would we save money, but we'd actually make money.
Mm-hmm.
And in this video, we're going to reveal whether or not that actually worked. Did
we save money or waste money on moving our own stuff here?
Yeah, not all of our ideas are great, but some of them are.
So we bought a truck and trailer to move from Ontario to Nova Scotia because I just couldn't stomach just paying out anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 for somebody to move our stuff for us. Just was like, there's got to be a way around this.
And we don't do anything normally.
No, we're not doing anything normally. So I started thinking, is there a way we can save some of this money? Because that's a lot of money to put out. So our lowest quote was $8,000, and that was just kind of a small Nova Scotian company. They seem pretty good that way. And then on the higher end for $12,000, it was with Campbell's Moving Company, which is a really well-known company.
We've used them in the past.
Yeah. And so anyway, so we know that they would be good. The other little moving company seems to be doing all right. But nonetheless, anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000, and it just felt like a lot. So could we save money? And we decided to buy our own truck and trailer and then sell it when we got here.
So like Amanda said, the cheapest quote was $8,000.
Well, it's $8,000 plus taxes would be $9,200.
Yeah, so that's the number to beat.
Nathan is going to tell you about some of the expenses of buying the truck and the trailer and just kind of the extras that maybe we didn't even think about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we purchased the truck for $7,500 in Ontario. So with taxes, that was $8,550. Then we had to get that truck certified. And so we kind of had a surprise expense with that. So it was another $3,000 on top of that. We also had to fix it once before arriving because someone decided to drive right into the muffler in a parking lot.
Yes, 2 days before we moved.
2 days before we moved, which was awesome. So that was another $115.
Yeah.
And then we drove it here with the trailer in tow. Spent $1,320 on gas since arriving. So some of that, like a good chunk of that's actually the move, and some of that's just us driving around since being here.
Because the truck is terrible on
Oh
gas.
my gosh, like
Absolutely.
8 miles per gallon. And then we had the safety inspection after arriving. So that was $2,400. And then then we bought a trailer. The trailer was $3,000. We got a steal on that trailer. It was a great price. The grand total is $18,385 for all of our expenses all in. We took that number where we minus the $9,200 for our cheapest quote, which gives us a $9,185 is the number to beat when we resell the truck and the trailer.
Yeah, so when we sell the truck and trailer, if we get more than $9,200, which I believe that we definitely should, then all of that is savings in the end. Now, something that we didn't factor into this, which was a mistake, and I think it's a separate mistake in the sense that we probably didn't have to do it this way in our moving, we just chose to. We sold our car, our Hyundai Elantra, which was actually quite a good car for us.
Yeah, I liked it.
Really, we had no problems with it. We sold it in Ontario and bought a car here because the truck is honestly just absolutely not something that you want to use. It's just kind of your driving around vehicle. It's great for somebody who wants to be able to pull stuff or needs it for work things. I'm sure it's great for that because it's very good at pulling. It was so smooth. Had no problems bringing our trailer here.
Yeah, and I will say this about it too.
Yeah.
There was no difference in the miles per gallon when we towed the trailer and when we didn't.
Yeah, that's true. Like it did a great job for what we needed it for. Now it needs to go to somebody who needs it for something that's more appropriate for a truck. So we bought a car here. We sold our car in Ontario and we bought a car here. We didn't realize, A, that cars here are honestly a lot more expensive to buy,
They are.
it seems, than in Ontario. So when we sold our car and bought one here, it was actually a difference after taxes, because that's the other thing, is we sold our car there, we had to come here and pay taxes on the car that we purchased. And in total, we probably spent, it's a difference of like $6,000.
But yeah.
Yeah, and that's, so, I mean, we didn't have to do that. We could have drove in tandem, where one of us drove our Elantra and the other one drove the truck and trailer. We didn't want to because it felt like just be a lot, right? With kids and everything and how long we were driving, it just felt like, oh my gosh, do we really want to drive? In tandem, it just feels better to be able to drive together. And that's the choice that we made, not quite thinking about the cost difference. I mean, if we had gotten a moving company instead, then we would have been able to drive our car together as well. But I mean, if we end up saving a few $1,000s that way, then I guess in a sense that was still kind of worth it. But you really need to weigh your options, because it was a lot of work to do that.
It was.
As opposed to, but although the cheaper company, we had to help move. We had to help load and unload the truck. So with Campbell's, you don't help any of the loading or unloading, but with the cheaper company, it was you had to help load and unload the truck as well. So probably wouldn't have actually been all that different.
Yeah, a lot more time spent at the Service Ontario or the RMV as well, buying your own vehicles and selling vehicles. There's a lot of administration and red tape that you gotta sort of move through.
That's true. Yeah. So that is, time spent doing that kind of stuff. So weigh your options, save a few $1,000s or not. We have not yet sold the truck and trailer. We're about to do that this week. And we will try to update you on whether or not we get that, how much we saved, if we saved any money. Would we do it again that way?
I think in a do-over, what I'd want to do is move ourselves, but keep the car. So Amanda, did we save enough money to buy a house in Mahone Bay?
We're going to show these fine folk a tour of the building itself first. All right, you're ready for all the treasures. So this building goes from that little fence over there to just beyond that tree, maybe 10 feet on the other side, not even. There are 2 entrances, and it can be converted into 2 residential spaces. Or 1, if we really wanted.
So now that they've all seen it,
Yes.
tell us your first impressions of the property.
Okay, so when we had seen it online, I was just like, this is a great building. We had all kinds of ideas that we had for it. When we got there, because it's on Main Street, we'd never been to Mahone Bay. And so we decided to make it a trip and see Mahone Bay while we also saw this building. When we got there, we realized it's not really close to anything. It really is more in a residential area. And so we had decided that if we were to buy it, it would have to become a residential building. Like we would want to convert it out of
Commercial.
When I got there though, when we went inside, I was like, I knew, like he even tried to warn us, like there's a lot of stuff in there and that we would have to be the ones to take care of it. So that was a part of the deal. You bought the house, you bought all the stuff in it. Or bought the building, you bought all the stuff in it. And when we went through, it just seemed like so much. And you know what? I'm sure there was some many treasures in there where we could have even made money on some of the various things that were in there. Like there was a lot
I feel like there is a
like
YouTube channel waiting to happen in that place.
Yeah. But it also seemed like a lot of work. And I'll tell you, at the after you give your impressions, I'll tell you the one thing that almost was a clincher for me that made me kind of go,
So I'm a bit of a naturally inclined hoarding kind of person. So like when I see a big pile of junk like that, I get like super excited. I just want to like dive in and like see what kind of stuff I can find. Even just in that walkthrough, like the amount of stuff that I saw that I was like, wow, like just a little bit of varnish would make that gorgeous. And I wonder like how much you could sell that thing for on eBay and things like that. Like just my opportunistic junk loving side just got really, really excited about that property.
I'm like more of a minimalist, so our house is, you know, I think fairly empty considering. I just don't get attached to a whole lot of stuff. I just can see that.
That was my first impression. That, and there's a ton of work that needed to be done. The one plus side was framing on the inside allows you to basically rip out any wall anywhere in that place.
You honestly could have, like, the very open space, you could have done all kinds of stuff to make it. Then it was a new roof, so that was a bonus. But it needed a lot, from new windows, new siding, all the flooring, all the walls had to be completely re-drywalled, all the electrical, and then the plumbing as well.
Yeah.
And so, on top of the cost of it, one of the things that I don't know why I just have a hard time with this. If it was a residential thing, then we would have been able to just, that was the cost. But because it was commercial, we ended up you would have to pay HST as well. And then we would have had to rezone and do all the things. And there was a lot there, which again would have been,
it wasn't hard work, but the money would add up fast.
So, did we buy it?
Did we buy it?
Didn't buy it.
No.
I think you can probably tell from how we kind of
we kind of slipped the past tense a few times.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. We really were tempted.
It's still on the market.
One of the reasons why it was so tempting is because it's actually very cheap for Mahone Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
would
would say
half the cost of the next closest thing.
The next closest thing, yeah, absolutely. So where I think it was on for about $200,000, and most buildings around that size, if we were to update it, we estimated we'd be able to resell it for anywhere around $400,000, because Mahone Bay is a very hot spot. Their homes and things like that go for a good value, and when it's all brand new and newly updated, newly renovated, it would probably get a good penny. So it seemed like a good investment, but we just
we're just not rich enough. Not yet.
We're just not in the place to be able to do that yet. Yeah. So, but
if you're one of our followers and you are rich and you want a business partner to totally renovate a store full of junk, let us know. So
no, we didn't buy the property. As tempting as it was, it'd be something that we'd be interested in doing later on if we had the ability to do that, like flipping and doing all that kind of stuff. That's what's going to happen to that building. I find that every once in a while there are like opportunities that come up in your life that give you this chance to take a road untraveled. Your life can be divided between what you're doing now and hey, there's this whole other direction that your life can go. I think our life has been hectic, but I mean, would we enjoy the idea of like flipping buildings, homes, or whatever? I think it would have been very interesting stuff to put on YouTube, and I think that it would have had just a lot of really cool things along with it. Sometimes opportunities present themselves and you just can't take them all. Have you had an opportunity in your life that presented itself that you either took or had to pass up? What was that like? Tell us some stories about the opportunities that have come and gone in your life.
Until next time.
Share, like, subscribe, comment, all the things.
Do all the things.